Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes? Matt here from YoVideogames. My E3 2017 coverage continues today with probably the biggest game that I played at the show, and that was, of course, Super Mario Odyssey. Now, when I say biggest, that means, yes, I didn't play Call of Duty or Destiny 2 or any of that other super big jazz. This is probably the highest profile thing I played. Because you know what? I'm just a weird guy, and I like to play weird off the beaten path games. So this is probably the big one for me of the show. It's also probably the best, and I don't say that as a slam to the other games. I just mean that Super Mario Odyssey is a game that oozes quality immediately from the get-go. So, getting into the game, as you saw from the trailer, a lot of things were kind of revealed. We thought we were getting a Monster Hunter tease with the T-Rex at the beginning, but nope, it's a Mario game. Once again, Mario Odyssey is a title that's going to really kind of clash art styles, like realism and cartoonism and all the isms probably in between. Well, probably not. It's probably just cartoonism and realism. But what we did see was pretty cool. We saw a vocal song sung by the long, almost forgotten character Pauline, Mario's original girlfriend from Donkey Kong, which, of course, since Koizumi is a producer on this game, he brought back another prominent female figure from Mario's history. And what did he do with her? Well, he made her the mayor of New Donk City, and also a pretty damn good singer. So, of course, the most progressive man working at Nintendo comes along and, yes, makes a character a really cool role in the new Mario game. But, you know, getting beyond all that, the big thing from the trailer was that Mario's hat is more than just, you know, a weapon or a platform to bounce off of. It actually possesses objects and characters in the game, which then lets you control them. This is really interesting to me because Mario games, even the last one they did, they've always kind of struggled to find what new power-up can we do. You know, hey, here's a bell, it turns you into a cat. Here's a, you know, a feather, it gives you a cape. Here's a leaf, it turns you a tanuki. You know, and they've tried to like mix it up, bring some back, and all that jazz. But it's kind of funny to me how for decades Nintendo tried so hard to make Mario have new power-ups and new items to get. And this time they've actually kind of thought outside the box a bit, and now it's, instead of having a Mario version of something like, say, like a Fire Brothers or a Hammer Brothers. Like in Mario 3, he can turn to Hammer Mario. He has a shell on his back and he throws hammers, but in this game now you can literally possess the Hammer Brothers or the Fire Brothers, what have you. Bullet Bills even. And the controls basically do what you think. Like, say you possess a Bullet Bill in the game. You basically now have the ability to move freely around the air. As a Bullet Bill, you can speed up and slow down. I don't think you're able to adjust your trajectory. Like, I don't think you're able to go higher or lower. I think it's just for it. It might be able to. I'm not really sure, actually. I played the game and I was a Bullet Bill a couple times. I never actually tried to move up or down with it. So maybe you can, maybe you can't. But I don't think it's that important, because the thing is, what's cool about it is you kind of possess and jump out of characters all the time. Like, the game is constantly throwing kind of new mechanics at you. So when I played the game, I decided to play in the Sand Ice world rather than in New Donk City, because everyone was kind of doing New Donk City, and I'll have fun in New Donk City when I get the game in October. Which, you know, just as a side note there, holy shit, the game is coming out soon. October is much sooner than I thought the game was going to come out. But so I played the Sand Ice Kingdom, which is a very cartoony look on the Mesoamerican style, which was really cool. Again, one thing I want to say first of all is that these levels are very big and wide open. This is, when they said they were kind of going back to a Mario 64 aesthetic, they actually kind of meant it. And in fact, these levels are actually far bigger than anything in Mario 64, because Mario 64, as open as the game was, every level was basically a floating island, which I never really dug. And these levels are to an extent, they are floating islands, but they are just really, really, really big floating islands. If you do actually go all the way to the edge and check out the seams or the fall-off points. But the first thing I did when I played the game is I immediately tried to do all of the moves Mario had from 64, which, from what I understand, he does have all of his movement ability. He triple jumps, long jumps, he can dive while jumping, he can roll now too. Of course, he can throw the hat instead of punch, which is a totally fine substitute for that. Backflips, ground pounds. The only thing I didn't really check, and I'm kind of kicking myself now that why didn't I try this, is the is the side jump, you know, where you run one way and you quickly press back the other and do like a side flip backwards. I didn't check if he could do that in Mario Odyssey, so I don't actually know. I know he can wall jump, though, so you can jump off the sides of ledges. Timing's a slightly bit different than what it used to be in Mario 64, but you can totally still do it. And he'll, you know, he'll slide down walls if you jump onto a wall, so giving you a little bit more time to hop off it if you want. So that's all really cool. One thing, though, that kind of impressed me is that the game actually combines two things. It kind of combines a Rareware style 3D platformer and a Mario 64 style platformer. So Mario style platformer, 64 and Galaxy and Sunshine, when you get a shine or a star, or in this case Mario Odyssey, you get moons, just, you know, just be different, you don't get kicked out of the level immediately, which is unique. There's also checkpoints in levels, by the way. Like, they're the little Bowser flags that turn into Mario flags when you touch them, just like the new Super Mario Brothers series. Like, no big deal. Just kind of, because the levels are so big, I think it's necessary now to have these checkpoint flags. So when you die, you don't go all the way back, because you might be far away from the start of the level. So you don't get kicked out of levels when you get a moon, necessarily, this time. Now, there are differences. There are areas sometimes where it is like Mario 64, where you can jump out of a level and or leave it on the big hat ship and come back. Say, for the Sand Ice Desert, you can play it in the daytime, and there's all these moons to get in the daytime, and then you can come back at nighttime. And they haven't really said how that happens. Well, how do you make it change? I don't know if it's literally just leaving and coming back, or what, but so you can do it at nighttime, and there's a different set of moons, and the levels changed a little bit at night versus the day. So it actually combines the idea of, well, you can go in the daytime, get a bunch of moons without getting kicked out of the level, like in Banjo-Kazooie or Yooka-Laylee. And then you can do it Mario 64 style, where the level will change after leaving and coming back. So that's actually pretty cool as far as I'm concerned. And I never really liked getting kicked out of the level. It wasn't bad. It didn't ruin the games or anything for me, but it's definitely something I kind of always appreciated more about the Rare games, is that it felt like I was completing everything without having to stop and go back in and all that jazz. Now, the downside to the Rare games is that the levels don't change much beyond what you do to get the Jiggies or the Pagies in their games. Whereas in Mario, you can really remix the level up a lot. Like, you jump out of the level, and then you jump back in for a different star. A whole section of the level could be completely changed for a new star challenge. So this game actually combines both, because of course it does, and it's going to be a fucking great game. The music is really good. Again, I actually have no idea who's composing it, but you know, we all heard the vocal song, but they've already had like a lot of the level tracks uploaded to YouTube, and they sound great. I really dig it. As far as the rest of the game goes, it's really hard to say. It seems like, obviously, Cappy, the little ghost thing that goes into your cap, he kind of gives you hints or says stuff. He doesn't. It's not voice acted, at least not in the demo at E3. But like, say you're running around an area, a little text box with him will float above it saying, "Hey, we should go check this out, or we should do this thing here." Some people might complain that that's a little too intrusive, and I kind of agree. I kind of see that, where it's like, I don't really want a character constantly giving me hints during Mario. Maybe you'll be able to turn it off, because that's been something that Nintendo's done lately, is have the ability to, you know, put hints on or put hints off or whatever. I would rather have it off more than on. The weird story lore of the game seems to be Bowser's trying to marry Peach. Someone pointed out that they think all of the kingdoms that you travel to are related to setting up for one part of the wedding. So maybe the plot is Bowser's going to all these different worlds to, you know, he's going to get caterers, he's going to get singers, he's going to get, you know, all the food for the wedding or what have you. So that's kind of funny. We are getting new amiibos of it, of course. You get, like, you know, the white tux Mario with the top hat, you know, Bowser in his wedding suit Bowser, and then, of course, Wedding Peach. I hope Nintendo can't get sued for that. But, yeah, you know, whatever. I don't really know what the amiibos are. I think they talked about it, but I didn't pay attention, because I just honestly don't care. I'm probably not ever going to have the amiibos, but, you know, I'm sure you can look it up somewhere. We didn't really actually see anything about the bunny boss characters, because there's these rabbit characters that kind of look like the new, you know, mid-level or sort of minions, the Lemmy, Roy, Wendy, Koopa types. We didn't really see them at E3. I didn't see them in my demo. They're kind of in the trailer very, very briefly, but really no info, no info on that right now. As far as like the rest of the game goes, there is a 2-player co-op mode where someone can play as Cappy and move the hat around while another person runs and jumps as Mario. So it's kind of like an extension or a better version of the 2-player co-op from Mario Galaxy. So that's kind of nice. It's not, you know, really gonna blow anyone's mind. It's not gonna be a necessity or anything like that. But it's something that's a little fun thing that if you have someone who wants to play with you but isn't necessarily good at games, they can do. And if you're like me and you're just kind of going to be playing it on your own, it's not really going to impede the game or really miss out. You're not going to miss out on anything. So that's fine. As far as the clashing art styles, it's a little jarring, but it mostly works in the end. I'm a little sad we don't get any info on other characters. I think we see I think people have found Captain Toad in New Donk City, but I mean, I haven't seen Luigi, Yoshi. I haven't seen Rosalina, which is kind of sad, and that Koizumi has a new game he's producing, not directing, and we don't have any sight or sound of her. Although who knows, he's probably saving that for a nice fat Easter egg somewhere. But all that being said, I think Mario Odyssey was probably the best game I played all show. It was constantly throwing new things at you. Like when I was going through the Sand Ice Kingdom, it was, you know, you can run around, bounce, hop on top of roofs, and then it's like then you go across these sand trap areas, these platforms around this sinking sand, and bullet bills coming at you, and you can possess the bullet bills, and then you get to an area where you literally go inside a warp pipe and you come out as a 2D sprite of the original Mario Brothers on a wall, and you do these little 2D segments across, you know, going around this big stone pillar, and it's just constantly throwing new shit at you. And then you get to an area where there's these big Easter Island head looking guys, and you can possess them, and they have these sunglasses. And when you put the sunglasses on, you can see invisible platforms, and then you basically learn how to get across some of these areas to get stuff. Oh my god, it is just a constant barrage of creative ideas being thrown at you every moment. And everything comes together. None of it feels too out of play. None of it feels like too crazy or something you can't handle. It's paced very well, and I think it's probably going to be a big contender for Game of the Show. It's probably going to be a big contender for Game of the Year, honestly. I think there's very little with the game I found wrong. In fact, I'm thinking about it now. I don't know anything I found wrong with the game. So I think it's just flat out, this is the Game of the Show, and it's probably going to be Game of the Year more than likely, depending on how long it is. Because going from the Globe and some of the artwork they released, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of different levels. That's probably my biggest concern with this game right now, is that it looks like we might have a small amount of levels. Maybe not ukulele small, but close. So maybe like under 10. And if it is under 10, that's a little light. I hope not, but you know, as long as the levels are big and fleshed out, you know, may not be a problem. But that's my only sort of really concern and worry right now, is that I hope there's lots of, or at least some good handful of worlds we haven't seen yet. So those are my impressions of Super Mario Odyssey. It's basically a happy blending of sort of galaxy style movement, but with the abilities of Mario 64 and more the level design of Mario 64. I think it's going to be a game obviously every Switch owner should have. Like, unless you're into their big summer of multiplayer, as I'm going to call it, this is a game for every Wii owner. Did I say Wii owner? Ha! I'm still stuck in Wii mode. Every Switch owner should have Mario Odyssey. It is that good, and I think you're all going to have a great time playing it. Well, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the channel. Later, dudes.